Agreeable sounds like a slave.
I have a question.
Agreeable is being nice.
Wait. So I have a question for the girls. So imagine you're dating a guy, okay, and it's your birthday, and for your birthday he gets you, let's say, a $500 gift, okay, and you're happy, right? It's thoughtful, it's specific to you. Then you found out last year he got his ex-girlfriend an entire birthday party. How does that make you feel? He did the most. He rented out the nicest hotel.
That would get a lot of people tight. It would suck.
London.
It would suck.
He got her everything she wanted the year before.
Me not care.
You don't care?
You're a damn liar. Oh my gosh, you are such a liar. Wow, this green shirt is lying heavy. She is lying heavy.
As long as
you, one that was with the NBA year.
You don't care at all.
I don't really care.
Oh, they are such massive liars. They are such delusion at its finest. You were with the NBA. She's probably, okay, she as the NBA ex-wife is probably like, all right, I already had that stuff anymore. I don't need any more. Whatever. Green shirt and brown leather is damn liars. Damn liars. Her whole thing is that I will buy the Mercedes. I can take care of myself. Whatever. They're probably thinking, oh, the thought that counts. Any 99% of women that found out that the man that they're with got them a $500 gift when the gift that they gave to a girl previous before them was like a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 type birthday bash of gifts. Like everybody knew, all of Dubai knew it was the most incredible spectacle of love and affection for one person on their birthday. They not gonna care? Liars if I ever knew one.
Because he's making me happy.
Okay, you don't care.
We're different people too. It's a different relationship, and maybe he bought her flowers every day, 365 days a year, and he didn't do that for me. It's like, well, if that's what makes her happy, he's gonna do what makes her happy.
Exactly.
I mean, I get the angle. What you're saying is like, oh, he did all that for her. Why am I not good enough? But the second you compare yourself, you lose.
Yeah.
They're lying to themselves. They're lying to themselves. Because most girls are very similar in what we like. It's just a fact. Fashion, shopping, hair care, makeup, very similar in what we like. Getting flowers, having parties thrown for us, getting clothes, getting shoes, all these different things. Yes, there are some girls who wouldn't like a big birthday bash. Most would enjoy it, especially these three women on the panel. Yes, it's like different women, different interests. So some might actually be happy with the $500 gift compared to the $10,000 gift. But you wouldn't want something in comparison in the same value. You wouldn't want like a $10,000 birthday dinner, a $10,000 international trip where you go to 4 different countries in 2 days. Like this, good. I could just tell this girl just lies to herself because they all lying to themselves. A man for sure wouldn't be okay with that. How much more a woman who cares about these things even more? Like, men don't have birthday dinners. Women do have birthday dinners. They have whole birthday sashes, it's a whole thing when it comes to a woman's birthday. You tell me you not gonna care at all? Like, it'll be okay. Like, I'm a different person. Me and that girl, like, we shouldn't even be having the same thing. You would want something of comparable value, please.
I agree, but I'm just saying that's how men look at like your past is like basically like you've given it for free.
So here's my question to that, because all right, I love like everything we're talking about. Okay, so to all of the viewers out there, including myself, right? You live life. There's gray area. You live and you fucking learn, right? So where the fuck do we go from here? So do I play the shame game where everybody walks away a fucking loser? Because I can do that. I've beat myself up my entire life for every decision I've ever made, right? It got me nowhere.
No.
So I value myself. I see the world differently through a series of events, right? So what the fuck comes next? Because that's where I'm confused, right? Because I'm not, it's like, if it's not like gifted to you, like even in your situation, like your dad provided you a life that like so many people would kill for. Like, you know what I mean? So
I think what she does now is to just live a very, probably like a celibate type of lifestyle. Don't give it up to anyone. Be careful of who you get with. Focus on yourself. Grow, learn, raise your kid. And then also maybe start looking at the guy that not everyone's looking at. The next door guy who maybe works at the oil rig. Maybe he works a regular job at a tech startup. Or maybe he's someone who's like in manufacturing. Just look at the regular guy. Check him out. talk to him, because I feel like she doesn't want, I think in her heart of hearts, she knows she doesn't want to go down in status to a man who's under a certain pay grade. Understandable. But I don't think she also wants to go down in status to, like, compared to the men that she had before. Like, I had LeBron before. I don't want, you know, maybe like a Jack Black or something, which is so not cool to say, because Jack Black is so awesome. But I just know, and even he would probably know where he might rank with so many women. And this Brittany girl, I highly doubt, like, that's what's going through her mind, because that is probably the answer to the question you're asking. Like, you would have to just slow down. Look at your regular neighborhood. Maybe go to, you know, middle of America. Look for some good, decent, homely men who would love to take care of you. Maybe they're not making $600K a year. Maybe they're not baller lifestyle. But it's like, if you really want monogamy and peace and quiet in your home and never have to deal with this whole type of lifestyle again, you usually have to leave LA. You usually have to leave some of these bigger cities where promiscuity and stupidity roam free, and it just completely wrecks your life. You have to go back to the woods. And maybe not always back to the woods. You know, Houston is still there. That's still kind of woodsy. But it's like, it's a nice in-between to maybe having this peaceful life that I know she wants now. It's like, I messed up my life. I did the whole lifestyle. I did all this, down the third. So what do I do now? This is what you do. You go to the middle of America, you know, go to, like, regular parts of the world, find a decent man, you know, or try to find a decent man, pray for discernment as you're picking who you're picking to maybe now be your second husband. And that's what you do. Raise your kid, get better at being yourself, learn how to be, you know, a smarter woman, get a better job. Just, these are the things that you should be doing. I think that's what you do next. Not to play the blame game or the shame game and completely, like, deteriorate of sadness because it's just like, I ruined my life. No. Your life is not ruined. It happens. This is life. You just pray and make sure that, you know, you're careful of who you let inside of you. You're talking and giving more time to people in the relationships that you're, you know, or the future relationship that you want to have. But yeah, you usually just have to chill.
It sucks because the reason I hate these conversations is because it's never about, like, empathy. Do I understand the scales and how someone may view you for this, that, and the third? Okay, but moving forward, then what? So, okay, so I
mean, you want empathy, but it's not necessarily something that's not a topic in the conversation. It's just really talking about what it is, the statistics, the life, the observations being made in the world around us. It's not, you know, to not be empathetic with these people. It's just, it is what it is. It's not like I don't want to give the empathy.
Just like I said, make it about myself. I'm 30, single, mom. My fucking
she's looking for a solution, not empathy. Maybe also empathy, but she's looking for, what do I do next?
Past is all over Instagram. You know what I mean? I have people like you. She's a hoe. She's literally known for this. Okay. So what would be your advice to people like me then?
But I don't believe in grey area. I believe black and white. So
okay,
I'm
well,
just
that's
different.
unfortunate because
You know
there's
yeah.
grey.
What
I
did she
don't
just say?
believe in grey area. I believe black and white. So
Okay,
I'm
well,
just
that's
different.
unfortunate because
I know
there's
yeah.
grey.
I don't believe in grey area.
There's gray. There's gray in life.
You know what? To answer, wait, I'm
Go
going to
on.
answer
Let
your
her
question.
answer
I mean, I just think there's consequences.
I agree to an extent. There is gray in certain situations, but there is black and white for a majority, in my opinion. Like, you didn't do this, you won't get this. You do that, you will get this. Like, the patterns of life, you will put together, this will most likely happen if I do this. And then you just work with it. It's not just this gray area that I think keeps getting pushed. Like, oh, this could also happen. These are exceptions. The exceptions aren't the rule. There's a rule. This is what happens when you do this or you do that.
I just think there's consequences for your decisions. And I just think, like, my best advice would be to, like, lower your standards. Like that. Because
get a regular
I just
guy.
think there's going to be consequences for putting, you know, promiscuous stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you probably won't get the type of guy that you could have got at 22.
Do you know what,
21.
sister?
It wasn't meant to be then.
Do you know what I'll tell you? I would say, because I'm
What did I just say? She does not want to go down in status. She wants to either get another baller or forever be lonely, which she probably won't. She probably will eventually settle, because if she doesn't want to go lower, then you're going to have these options of the Futures and the Drakes of the world. So enjoy.
and I'm single out of a situation that actually is not because I was a hoe and I was doing whatever. People can't call me that. I made a bad decision to be with somebody that hurt me a lot, and I stayed for 5 years. I came out super late. And do you know what I realized? What I learned is that I know now that I have to be selective and I have to think. If me taking longer to get to that stage is what it takes, then that's what it takes. You accept your future, you accept everything with gratitude, because as long as you're breathing, that's the most important thing. At least you've got your child. I am not afraid because I know the quality of woman that I am. I know my value regardless of whether I'm 30, 40, 50.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you don't be afraid by other people's time limits and limitations and all of these things, because it actually doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why.
No, but your value goes down as you get older.
That's according to you.
No, but I'm saying to men, and you have to understand your buyers.
I'll tell you why. Because since Mr. Andrew Tate explained something about status, I understand very well what that actually means. And as a woman, the quality and the value that I hold for myself is actually the kind of value and quality that a man will appreciate the status it will bring to him, whether or not I'm a virgin. Because I've worked on myself to be a woman of quality and substance. I respect myself and I handle myself as such. Okay? And that is the way that you're going to actually overcome all of these bad mistakes that you've made, because who you are right now actually will make a difference if you stick to it and if you mean it and if you've always been that way. There's always another story for everybody. It doesn't matter. You'll be fine.
You know,
I don't think she did not give her practical advice. Like, this is something I hate so much about, like, the advice that people give sometimes. It's just so general. Like, you are fine the way you are. You have to do. No, what you did in the past was bad. Moving forward, you'll probably have to do X, Y, and Z things to be better, to do better, to get like the better, happy, monogamous lifestyle that you like. She's not saying directly what she needs to do, and the homegirl is literally asking her for a solution. You are fine just right now? Clearly, she's not fine just right now. From everything that I've learned and put together, she doesn't have like those main things that the high value men would want. So you can't get the high value man, or maybe you can. I mean, it's not, it's not like they're gonna immediately be like no to Brittany. It's just you're not likely to get maybe more like wifed up by some of these high value men. So what do? Maybe like I said before, you become like a celibate. You treat yourself with more respect. You don't thought it up on the gram or in real life. Like these are the practical things that you're supposed to do to get that healthy monogamous lifestyle. And also, you go for a guy who's like a Doug Heffernan. Maybe not necessarily in size, but even still in size. I don't know what's wrong with him as his large size, but it's like perfectly fine regular guys. She wants to still be like a celebrity. She still wants to be on the side of a LeBron, of a Steph Curry. Like, I was already there. I want to make sure I keep maintaining that. Like I said it, like she's gonna ask for a crap ton of money in these child support fees, and it's gonna be like, well, he also needs the Gucci shoes, and he also needs the Voltaire sunglasses. No, he doesn't. He most definitely doesn't. And you can just see it. She does not want to go down from the high that she is. Like, if you really want a happy lifestyle, you got to go down to some of these regular, nice guys who will take care of you. But because she don't want to do that, you have to deal with this.
That's more emotionally mature.
Do you know what I would have said to you?
What are you about to say, Andrew? Because you just started speaking up.
I was going to say...
Andrew, she said.
Andrew. I want to hear. Because you've been through a lot in your life. When she told me that you were going to be on and we were going to be on this panel together, I started watching a bunch of your videos, and it really was like there's so much that you have been through, which is why you have a well of wisdom, right? And the difference between me and you is that you're glorified for it, and I am burned at the stake for everything that I've been through. And it's so...
Girl, you ain't got no wisdom. Oh my gosh. She ain't got not a damn piece of wisdom. Her wisdom is, I had a lot of sex, and I know that lifestyle isn't worth it. Point blank period. There is nothing else she has to say. It's like if a woman came up with her and was just like, oh, how is it to be living that kind of high life? What is it? It's not that much fun. Money isn't everything. Just very vague things that literally every celebrity has said. Nothing important there to say. A majority of things Andrew has said this entire podcast, she probably just learned today herself. She probably knew nothing about herself. And just other realms of life, I highly doubt she has that much wisdom that is so thought-provoking, so world-shaking, that it's like, oh my gosh, Brittany really just said this thing. Brittany don't got that kind of wisdom. And she's pissed because she feels like, well, my sexual wisdom should be some kind of wisdom that's on the same level as like an Andrew Tate, or maybe like a freaking Bishop T.D. Jakes. Like, I got wisdom too. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's very simple. It's very surface level. There's no depth there. Like, I don't know what wisdom she thinks she got. And I would love for her to speak some. She hasn't said not a damn thing that's so wise.
Because people have always said that we were two sides of the same coin as far as like, well, if Andrew Tate gets banned, Brittany Renner should get banned because we are all about accountability and fucking truth, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been through a lot, I've been through a lot.
What is this girl? Please let me know in the comments, because she comparing herself to Andrew Tate like they the same thing. They should have been banned. I have never even seen this girl before. I don't even know what she is or what she talks about.
I'm seen as used goods. You're seen as a high value man.
Yep.
So if you're me, then what? What's next?
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it's interesting you make that observation, and you are correct. That's the difference between the masculine and the feminine. It's unfair, I guess. The world's not fair, but that's the difference between the masculine and the feminine. Men are respected for going through things and surviving, and women are the complete opposite. They're shamed for going through things and surviving. If you look at women love scars on men for a reason. He's gone through something.
They're war wounds.
Yeah, men don't want a chick covered in scars. I'll say this right now, that a woman, the more trauma she goes through, the more masculine she naturally becomes. And if you were to give me my ideal woman, I would not have wanted her to have a hard life and a bunch of trauma. I like the idea of her having a soft feminine life and being a soft person, and I can take care of her and protect her. Whereas as a man, to be a good man, you need to have been through a bunch of trauma, because if you haven't been through trauma as a man, you're a weakling. You have to have been through a bunch of shit. So the masculine and the feminine is a very interesting point there. As for, I don't know your history, I don't know the past, but we can just talk in generalizations in regards
People
to
like me, I guess, under the same umbrella. It doesn't have to be personal.
I don't know any of it, but we'll give generalizations. One of the main reasons that
He's
men
trying
are
to be careful not to say certain things. Maybe in private you'd probably tell her what he really thinks, but I think he's trying to avoid like telling her directly, so he's not held accountable for this, which I wouldn't want to be held accountable if I was in a position for some random girl as well.
scared of a female with history is because it makes the man insecure. And scared dogs bite. So this is why men will snap or get angry quick, or they'll bring up if you get in an argument with him, he'll bring up your history, whatever. But a lot of it is insecurity, and it's not insecurity because the man is insecure. The female paradigm in society convinces men, any man who says anything, you're insecure. It's not insecure in that way. It's insecure in a very realistic, logical way. Like I was saying earlier, she's had a lot of life experience. Let's be honest. Am I the richest guy she's ever had? No. Am I the most famous guy she's ever had? No. Am I the best looking guy she's ever had? No. Like, what's keeping her here? And then part of it comes down to, well, am I second place? If she could do better, would she do better? Like, there's a whole bunch of insecurity involved. And that's where tiny things, like I know it sounds like dumb shit, tiny things about the favorite car brand become more important than ever, right? It's your job as a woman, regardless of how much sexual history you've had or what guy you're with, etc. It's your job as a woman to make your man feel secure in the fact and make him feel like a man, like Auntie was saying, make him feel like the man no matter what he does, so that he feels like you really truly believe he's the best choice for you on the planet. That's your job to do. Now, if you've had a checkered past, that's perhaps more difficult. You need to be more tactful with it, more tactical about it. But you have to achieve the same result. You have to do the exact same thing, right? So, yeah, it's easy for me if I get a 21-year-old virgin from some village in Slovakia and I'm multi-millionaire Andrew Tate. Of course, it's a very easy, she's never had better, she'll never get better, she's never been anywhere, boom, boom, easy one, right? But like you said, the world's not so idealistic. The reality is that people have had relationships, etc., etc. But a man is happiest in the relationship when he feels like man of the house and when he truly feels like you believe he's the best man that you could possibly ever get and have ever gotten. Because a man is jealous. I'll tell you something. I used to say this to girls as like a joke. And I used to say,
truth in jest.
I used to say, no, but I say it's a joke. So you cheated on me before I met you. And she'd be like, what do you mean? I didn't even know you. It's like, yeah, you fucked that guy before I even knew you. You cheated on me. And they used to laugh, whatever. But that's how men think. That's the male mind. Like, I love you. And you've been fucked by who? But I didn't know you. I don't care if you knew me. You should have waited. What do you mean? But that's the male mind. So he is in competition with all of your exes and all of your lifestyle and all the things you've done permanently. And it's down to you as a woman to sit there and go, how do I make him secure in himself and secure in his masculinity and make him believe that investing in me is still worthwhile because I still truly value him, despite the fact that I could do X, Y, Z. I hope that gives some clarity, but that's the...
I think the answer that he's trying to give her is just be an agreeable woman. Like, you could still lock down like a high value man, but you have to stroke the ego. You gotta be agreeable. You gotta just make him feel special. And I guess maybe to an extent, just kind of fake the funk So it does make him feel special. You know, the past will always be there, so he'll have to figure it out. But if you can genuinely fake the feeling enough, then real love, real connection can be easier for him, I think, to fall more in love with you. To make him love you after having lived maybe like a Brittany type of life experience, you just have to be very agreeable, you know, fake the feeling, give this love of like, it's only ever been you, it will only ever be you, just, you're the main one, even if you weren't, but just make him feel like you were, will always be the main one.